In my presentation book, I promote a planning strategy that can transform your presentations from dull and overly complicated to engaging and informative. There are 3 steps. You develop a core message. You then develop 3 to 5 key points. And finally, develop 2 or 3 support ideas for each of your key points. I will demonstrate how I do this by showing you how I might plan a presentation on bicycle safety. Let's assume I have been researching this topic for a year or so and now have something to present. First, I need to develop a working title. Let's call it Bicycle Safety. I might want to improve on that, but not yet. This is not the time to be self-critical. I can adjust anything I come up with in this initial planning stage later. Then I need to identify my core message. What do I want my audience to take from my presentation? I have an observation, a principle, a result, or a clarification. It needs to be something my audience will find interesting or useful. In this case, my core message is that if we are going to tackle bicycle safety, we need some sort of strategic approach. Given that core message, my presentation will describe that strategic approach. To do that, I will start by developing 3 to 5 key points. For example, cycling is unsafe but also desirable. There are specific high-risk situations. I will identify potential solutions. I will verify that the solutions work. And finally, I will discuss the projected outcomes of improved bicycle safety. So now I have 5 key points, but on their own they do not do much. I need to support each one with some relevant ideas. I would need to establish that cycling is unsafe, and to do that I might discuss the risks, possibly in comparison to other forms of getting around, such as walking and driving. I will also need to establish that cycling is desirable, and so I might discuss the benefits to health and the environment, and also the modest costs associated with cycling. To support my second key point, I might describe 2 or 3 high-risk scenarios, those that commonly result in injury or death. To support my third key point, I might discuss what has been done to improve bicycle safety in other countries, and I might analyse accidents. I might also investigate what sorts of strategies cyclists use in their attempts to stay safe. We might be able to build on those, and we certainly wouldn't want to redesign the system in ways that would block cyclists from using strategies that worked. To support my fourth key point, I would discuss the types of methods I could use to verify the solutions. Methods such as simulation and on-the-road evaluations. To support my fifth key point, I might talk about how increased safety would result in more travel by bicycle and would reduce the load on public transport and roads. I might also talk about reductions in accidents, and in particular, if this program is to be successful, I would be looking for an order of magnitude reduction. So, These are the essentials of this strategy. You need to develop a core message, you need to develop 3 to 5 key points, and you need to develop a small number of support ideas for each key point. Before I finish up, I will offer another illustration. Let's suppose I'm going to give you 40 minutes or so on my 2-day presentation workshop. If this structured planning strategy can be applied to any knowledge presentation, I should be able to use it to develop a presentation that explains my workshop. And so here it is, a title, Presentations for the Knowledge Professions, a core message, You will succeed if you take a structured approach, and 5 key points with a small number of support ideas for each. The key points for my presentation workshop are that you need to prepare, you need to lay out your key points, you need to build your exposition, you need to find your voice as you rehearse, and you need to perform well on the day. Add 2 or 3 support ideas for each. For example, for my exposition key point, I show that you need to develop your exposition, but that you must be sparse and you must emphasize clarity. On the day, you need to make sure you set up properly, and you should also take the opportunity soon after you finish to review how you went. Once you do all of this, you will have an outline for a well-structured presentation. There is more to do. You will need to refine your key points and your support ideas, and you will also need to develop a flowing exposition. I explain how to do that in my book, Presentations for the Knowledge Professions.